Okay, we should be good to go. So tonight I am going to do Instagram, Instagram training, help with Instagram, anything you guys need. I have kind of laid out. Hold on. Not me. What is the noise? Hold on. I have everybody muted. Okay, so I have kind of laid out some topics and some things that I want to talk about, but hit me with any and all questions that you have. Okay, whatever Instagram related, anything you want to talk about, just tell me. I'm going to go through my list. It will probably fit into one of my categories. And then if you want me to talk about it, I absolutely can. I believe that in this industry, in this business, Instagram is a freaking gold mine. And if you are not tapping into it and using it to its fullest, you're losing out on relationships, engagement, enrollments, like literally the future of your entire business, because it is so much simpler to add people, to grow your network, to do all these different things on Instagram rather than it is on Facebook. I feel like it's a little bit simpler to reach a cold market on Instagram, in my opinion. So I would say that's one of the number one reasons why I focus on Instagram, is because I feel like when you add people on Facebook, they're like, well, do I know you? Or like, who are you? Or where did you come from? But on Instagram, it's a lot simpler. You can reach whoever you want, people in your area, people that have similar interests to you, anything. So I think for growth, it's really, really huge. A big question that I always get is public versus private on Instagram. What apps to use for pictures? I'll answer that. It's a personal preference, but in my opinion, I think that if you were on Instagram and you are wanting to organically grow and intentionally grow, I really do believe that you need to be public. When it comes to being able to search for people, being able to use locations, being able to use hashtags, all these different things, it's going to be harder if you're on private. You can do private if you want to do that. I just feel like when I used to do private, it was because I was worried about people knowing that I was in network marketing. I was convinced that if they saw that I was in network marketing, they wouldn't follow me back, right? But I think that if you are loud and proud of who you are and you're doing this in a super genuine way, you don't need to worry, right? Like when people go to my page, I'm not like, oh my God, they're going to feel sold to. I know that they're going to feel connected to me. So I am not concerned about that at all. I would stay public. That way you can use hashtags. That way you can use your location. Geotagging your location is really, really huge. And just growing in general. I feel like people are quicker to follow back if they can see your page, see what they're about, know why they relate to you, etc., and follow back. I'm trying to go through these as I go here. I do not pre-make posts on Instagram. I know that you can use apps, but I feel like anytime you use an app to pre-make or schedule posting, I feel like it automatically screws with your algorithm. I don't know why, but I feel like they know. Do you hear them screaming? Always. I feel like they know when you're like using pre-made posts or using something to schedule it. I think you will get the most interaction engagement on Instagram when you were organically doing it yourself. So no, I don't use any apps. I do like write posts out in my notes app and stuff. Like I'll plan out my posts, but I'm not using like a bot or anything to do that. Okay, let's talk about public. Yes, I can in 1 second. So the number one thing, and this is what I always teeter on, like being weird and like making sure this comes off the right way. When it comes to Instagram, the appearance and cohesiveness of your feed does matter, right? And this does not mean that I need you to be in full glam to the nines with a photographer. That's not what I mean. But do your pictures need to be good quality? Yes. Does your page need to be presentable? Yes. Does it need to look like, hey, she puts effort into this and it flows? Yes. Okay. So I'm not saying it needs to be beautiful and pretty and you have to have makeup on and lipstick and lashes and a photographer. No, I'm saying that the overall look of your page, it needs to go together. It needs to look like it's something you put effort into. And yes, we work really hard to make sure we're not salesy, but this is still your business, right? And if you're expecting results out of something, you need to put effort into that. And the appearance of your Instagram is one of those things. And also the hard thing about Instagram and Facebook is if somebody doesn't stop, like if they don't stop on your picture, if it doesn't catch their eye, they're never going to get to your caption. And the caption is our meat, right? Like that's our substance, that's our content, that's our message. That's where we relate to people. But the fact of the matter is, if they're scrolling and your picture doesn't make them stop, they're never going to get to the caption anyway. So making sure that it is cohesive is very, very big. I would say that I'm probably a little bit too OCD with it. I probably put a little bit too much effort into it, but it's what I like. Like for me, it's a creative outlet. I enjoy it. But as long as you have crisp, clear pictures, it's cohesive, it looks like it flows, there's not like random like typing on one of them and then like a picture of something blurry on this one and then this one's really dark, just make sure it goes together. I will say that in general, whether you want a preset, a filter, whatever you want, I feel like presets are like the most confusing thing to everybody. So even if you just want a filter, put the same filter on every single picture, right? And then it doesn't matter what it is, whether it's a selfie, whether it's a picture of you and your family, whether it's a picture of a nice tree or your outfit that day or your dog, whatever it is, if everything has the same filter, everything flows no matter what. And that's the number one thing that people say when they go to my pages. They're like, okay, well, how does it flow? How does it look like it goes together? What is this that you're doing for the appearance? It's just the same filter on every picture. And it's not to make something prettier or to make your face look different. It's coloring, right? It's what matches all the pictures together. So I challenge you, encourage you to either pick one filter or one preset and stick to it. Now, do I change my preset? Yes, all the time. I feel like I have a quarter life crisis every 2 weeks and I want a new preset and then I have to redo everything. But as long as it's cohesive and your page flows, it's going to be a lot easier to catch people's attention, right? So like I said, that doesn't mean that I don't take pictures, with my hair in a messy bun and no makeup. Absolutely, I do all the time. But my page still flows. I still make sure there's good lighting in my pictures. I still make sure that it looks cohesive. So if presets are a little bit too confusing for you, if they overwhelm you, don't worry about it. Download PicTapGo, download VSCO Cam, download anything, and just every picture before you put it up, slap the same filter on it. And that's going to make everything look overall a lot more cohesive. And that's what catches people's eyes. So when you're following people, they like get the vibe. What I always say is that your first 9 pictures are your resume, right? So when somebody goes to your page, that's what you have to catch them with. And the cohesiveness is going to help with that. No. So if I change my filter, my preset, I don't delete anything. I just start from there and go forward. I might like mass upload a couple of pictures just to fix the feed. And that's for my own OCD. Nobody else really cares about that. I can promise you people don't even know I'm changing my preset, but I don't delete. I just start where I am. So wherever you may be, you can get presets from Etsy. You can get presets from Instagram. You can get them from Pinterest. I mean, you can get them anywhere. And if you're confused by them, I can almost assure you that whoever you do get them from, they'll send instructions with what to do. And it's literally just copying and pasting a filter onto a picture and it's the same one. So that's how I get my Instagram to look cohesive. I get a lot of questions about that. I'm trying to go in order here. So understanding that your picture has to capture their attention. It has to be good quality, right? And I did a training in my team page about this, about like selfies and taking pictures and this and that. Just stand in front of a window, right? You don't have to have a ring light. I love my ring light. It's a business write-off. It's the best thing I've ever done. I walk around my house with it. Travis thinks I'm absolutely crazy. It literally is a fixture in my living room all the time. But if you don't have one, then just be, conscious of where you're taking pictures, right? So if I'm sitting here and my window's over here, I'm going to hold my phone up this way and take a selfie, not face that way where it's all shaded. If you're outside, turn and face the sun. Like just focus on your lighting and that will help your pictures a lot too. Okay, so being cohesive, that's what's going to draw people's attention. And that's kind of the thing with Instagram. I feel like you have like a 5-second window to catch somebody's attention. And if your first 9 pictures can be cohesive, good quality, shows who you are and what you're about, people are going to be more apt to follow you back immediately, right? People don't know my whole life story when they follow me back, but they can see what makes me me, my 5 things. They know who I am when they look at my Instagram because it's my first 9 pictures. So I get a lot of questions also if I have a formula to like my feed on my Instagram. And I will say this, don't let this confuse you, but if you're somebody that needs structure, or you don't know what to post sometimes, this is what I follow. And it falls off and on sometimes. But when I am going to make a post, I kind of alternate. So let's say I'm starting out, it's a Monday morning. My first picture is going to be a picture of me or a selfie. That's one of my categories, right? The next time I post, It's going to be either me and Travis or me and one of my friends, my family, something, me with my people. And then the next picture is Kristen, yay! She went 12K. This is so exciting. Okay, and then my next picture is going to be one of my 5 things, which is the branding thing I talk about. So what makes you you? What are your interests? What do you love? So for me, it ranges between a picture of my dogs, some of my home decor. Maybe it's an outfit I wore because I love fashion. Maybe it is something that has to do with wedding planning. Maybe it's something that has to do with Bible journaling, the things that make me me. So if you ever need a formula and you're like, I don't know what to post, that keeps me on track where I know like, okay, like my next is a selfie. So what kind of post do I want to do? The next thing is, you know, one of my 5 things. So who do I want to relate to today? So it's a selfie or a picture of me, my family, Travis, my friends, whoever, and then one of my 5 things. And that allows my Instagram to not only be cohesive, but it keeps me on track because I'll get in that thing where I'm like, well, I don't know what to post. What kind of picture do I want to take? It helps me with that. So if you like structure, try it. I feel like it's super cohesive and it keeps me on track with posting. I don't have a specific amount of times per day I post either. I just follow that. So whether it's I'm posting one day and 2 the next or whatever, that's kind of the thing I use. But I would say normally 2 times a day, 1 or 2. It depends. On Instagram, it's normally more 1 and then I'm on my stories, which I'll talk about most of the day. But normally just once or twice. So she said off topic, but I have the NLT journaling Bible. So like I do it in my Bible and then I either go with a Bible study or I just pull a verse from my devotional and then dive into it that way, but I just journal directly into my Bible. How many times a day do you post on Instagram? I post 2 to 3 times on Facebook. Should I follow that? So if that's what works for you, absolutely. I normally don't have 2 to 3 pictures to post a day. If I do, absolutely I do that. But it's normally, I would say like 1 to 3 is a good range. Okay, she said, I live in my stories, but I'm so bad about skipping posting a day every now and then unintentionally. I do that too sometimes because I'm so active on my stories and so engaging on there that sometimes I don't realize that I haven't made content or put a post up. So I just kind of try to remind myself, whether it's setting an alarm in my phone, whether it's just writing down in my planner, hey, like you need to get a post up today, but I'll do that too because I'm on my stories so often. Okay. Cohesive formula. I talked about that. Okay, before I get into the stories, I'm going to talk about 2 different things. I get a ton of questions on hashtags. I have an app that I use that helps me so much. I do not have time to sit down and think of like 20 to 30 hashtags with each post. So the app that I use is called Hashme. It's just HASHME, and it has like a colorful hashtag on it. And basically what this app does for you is, let's say it's a picture of my dog, forever my example, I'm so sorry. So let's say it's a picture of my dog. I will put in the Hashme app, like fur mom, and I click enter and it generates like 35 to 50 hashtags that have to do with that hashtag. So it's basically doing my job for me. Automation is huge in this business. Anything that you can get to do for you that you don't have to do yourself, do it. It saves you time. So for that, I don't have to sit there and write out all these hashtags. Let's say it's about wedding planning. I'll hashtag like engaged AF or fiance or wedding planning. You search one hashtag, it pulls up all the ones that are similar. You click the ones you want, you click copy, you paste it to your Instagram. Simple as that. So you're not wasting time like trying to write them out. I would say I do like 20 to 30 on each picture and I put it in the comments so that I don't see it. I don't think they're cute. I don't want to see your hashtags. I feel like that does make it look spammy. So I go into my comments and I do like the period, and then I do enter period, enter period, enter period. And then I paste my hashtags so that when you look at my picture, you just see 2 dots in a comment. You don't see the hashtags. That's like my little trick because I don't like to see them. But that app is so helpful. And just be careful with the ones that you are copying because they do have the ones that are like a little bit spammy. Like they'll have ones related to that app and stuff. I just pick and choose the ones that truly relate to me or what's in the picture. That helps a lot. I personally stressed over a bio. Oh, you guys are asking about bio. Yes. So when you hashtag that on your picture, even if it's in your comments, it's still sending your post to that hashtag feed. And that's a great way for not only people to find you, but for you to find other people. Okay. So for my bio, And I think this is really important. Don't make it like crazy complicated or long or anything like that. I just have my location because I add people from my area. So let's say that I searched through locations on Instagram and searched Oklahoma City, Oklahoma. And I was looking through there to find girls that are my age or who do the same things I do, or maybe go out to the same places that I go to. When I'm adding them and they're going to look at my page, what's the first thing they see? Edmond, Oklahoma. So they're like, oh, okay, she lives here. It's not like, oh, why is she following me? What I put in my bio connects me to who I'm adding. So it says Edmond, Oklahoma, Fur Mama, Future Miss, and then owner, and I have my boutique Instagram so people can find it. But just like pick 3 to 4 things that make you you, right? And when you're thinking about your target market, who you're adding, who are those people, right? What makes you you and what connects you to other people? So if you have that in your bio, like a lot of people I add live in my area. They are dog moms, fur moms, anybody like that. Or maybe right now people that are planning a wedding because I'm doing that. So that's people I connect with. So they automatically know, okay, that's why she's adding me. Like, I feel like it solidifies a follow because they see what you have in common. No, I do them in the comments. If you go to like my latest Instagram, I might not have done it on the last one. Don't hold me to that. I might have forgot. But just go in my comments on one of my Instagram pictures and you'll see how I do it. Okay, so that was the bio, hashtags, all that. You need a good unfollow app. I get questions about that all the time as to why I unfollow people or why I have an unfollow app. And this is one of those stupid vain things. It is how it is. This is how people on Instagram are. If you are following way more people than are following you, it looks spammy. I don't know who decided that. I don't know who thought that was the best thing to do. But if you have like 50 followers, but you're following 5,000, they're going to be like, okay, like, why is nobody following you back? So I always want you to either have the same amount of following and followers or have more followers. So I would say I add for like 2 to 3 days, like growing my network. And then on that 3rd day, I use an app called Mass Unfollow. When you look at it, it just says unfollow and it has 4 boxes and 3 white checks. But I do this because you don't have to individually go through and manually click everybody that's not following you. It does it for you. I was on the way to the airport with Courtney one time and she was sitting next to me and it was like literally 4 a.m. and she was sitting there on an app and she was like hand clicking like 600 people's names. And I was like, what are you doing? And she was like, what do you mean? And I'm like, you need to, it's the automation, right, that I'm talking about. If they can do it for you, let the app do it for you. So with this app, you can literally download it, log into it, log in your Instagram information. You do select non-followers and it loads it for you. You do action unfollow. You don't have to do anything, right? So I don't have to waste my time doing that. That helps a ton, but just make sure that you're either following the same amount back and forth, and then go through every couple of days and unfollow anybody that has not followed you back. And that's normal. You can't get offended if somebody doesn't follow you back or if somebody unfollows you. People unfollow me every single day. I'm not everybody's cup of tea, and that is totally fine. I just don't even look. That's a trick. I used to sit there and be like, ooh, she unfollowed me. She unfollowed me. Like, I went to high school with her. Why does she not like me? I just literally start to unfollow and I put my phone down. I don't need to know. If you don't want to see me, I don't want to see you. We're good to go, right? So those are the 2 apps that are super important for me, the Hash Me and the Mass Unfollow. Yes. Okay, let's talk about Instagram highlights, why I use them. I feel like with Instagram highlights, especially if you're consistent on your stories like I am every single day, I feel like Instagram highlights are like a biography of me. So like when somebody goes to my page and I'm nosy, I do this to people all the time. And they want to learn more about me or they're curious or they're like, okay, what is that highlight or what's this highlight? It kind of gives them just like this big glimpse into my life, right? So like if they clicked the tribe one, they would get to understand kind of what we do, what the team is, they see our weekly chats, they see people promoting, they see, the journey I'm on. They can go to like my pups one and see all the stuff about my dogs. They can go to the Oklahoma one and see like my day-to-day life. I feel like it's just like a biography for people to be able to go back and look at all the things you post in your story because people are nosy, but also I do it for me because it saves all of my videos and pictures, which is really important for me. But I get questions on Instagram highlight covers. It is pink or like an orange, and it has 4 white boxes, and then 3 of the boxes are white check. Just search mass unfollow. I get my Instagram highlight covers off of Pinterest. I know that some people like get them off of Etsy, but you don't have to pay for them. They have them for pictures just for free. I just literally search Instagram highlights and find the ones that I like and the ones that correlate with the categories that I have. So for me, I have a tribe one. I have one that's called Oklahoma, which is basically just like my home life, anything I do here that's maybe outside of the business or anything like that. I have a travel one, a reads one where I put all of my self-development, my Bible journaling, all that stuff. I have one for my dog. I have one for wedding planning. I have one for health. So like when I work out and stuff, and when I'm doing my 3 steps, all different kinds of stuff. So when you go to my page, you can look through all of them, but I just feel like it's important to save them there. It allows people to get to know you. Like I'll maybe follow somebody and I haven't even talked to them, and they'll message me and they'll be like, okay, what are those products you're taking? And I'm like, I didn't even post that today. And they're like, no, I went through your story, and they see you using them all the time. So they ask questions. So I think it's a business opportunity. It's a way to get to know people. But just find ones that you like and save them to your phone off of Pinterest. Just search Instagram highlight covers, save the ones that you want. To add them as a highlight cover, you do have to add them to your story first. So upload them to your story and then go to your profile where it says highlight and the plus sign. And it will have you add the cover photo. It's basically, Amber, just like a place where you store all of your highlights after the 24 hours has expired. So like all the stuff I put up yesterday, I've added to my highlights because they're not on my actual story anymore, if that makes sense. Okay, so I get those off of Pinterest. What's next? Stories. I would say that literally 90% of my enrollments in my business come from my stories, hands down. I love posting. I love making content, but I think that stories allow you to do something so much more like personal than a post can do. And like I said, people are nosy, and you just got to play off that. People love to see what you do throughout the day. What are you eating? Where are you going? What do you have going on? I share my whole day. Yes, that app is really, really easy. That's why I love it. It makes things so simple. Stories give them a look into your life, right? So while we have to work on our profile to have it cohesive, we have the filters, we have all that stuff where you're really working on the appearance. That story, it takes the filter away, right? It allows people to see who you actually are. And I know that it can be weird or uncomfortable in the beginning, just like live videos, just like anything, but take people throughout your day, right? So I show everything, right? I show me waking up in the morning. I show my 3 steps on my story every morning when I'm standing there in a band t-shirt looking gross, making my shake. I share what I'm reading that day. If I read something in my self-development that really touched me, I take a picture, and know without fail, when I do that and I share something I'm reading, somebody's like, oh my God, I needed that. And that's what I always say. I'm like, cool, I did my job today. That makes me feel so good. I share if I'm running errands, if we're going somewhere, what my dogs are doing that's stupid that day, what they chewed up, if they pooped in that. Like I share my whole life because people need to know that I'm a real person behind those presets and behind those filters. And that's what gets people to know you, right? So I talk about everything. Like I said, I show my 3-step. I'll get on and just talk face-to-face to people. If something funny happened to me, I talk about it. And I mean, before I was in network marketing, I used Snapchat all the time, right? It's the same thing, but you can use it to an advantage with your business. Yeah, so if you're on the Unfollow app, you'll log into your Instagram. On the bottom left, I can do this without even looking at it. You click select and then non-followers, and it's going to do it for you. So it's going to select all your non-followers. Once it's loaded all of them, it'll tell you, and then you just click action unfollow. And you can literally just like put your phone down and let it go. Hold on, let me read this question. Do you have any suggestions on how to get more interaction on your stories, like poll votes? I know you have to grow your followers, but what sort of things do you notice give more engagement in your stories? A really big thing for me is engaging in other people's stories. So when you think about it, like when you go on Instagram, I would say, at least for me, more times than not, I directly go to my stories. I would say I rarely even like scroll through Instagram anymore, which is horrible because this is my job and like I need people to look at my posts, but I go to my stories. So while you're flipping through people's stories, reply to their stories, right? And it doesn't have to be some fake, like, oh my God, I love your lipstick. What color is that? No, like just talk to people. If something's funny, I send laughing emojis. Like I just reply to people's story all day. And that just kind of opens up the conversation. And when you're engaging with them, they're more likely to engage with you. Also, when you do polls and stuff, it doesn't always have to be about business or products. Like I'll do polls on like, okay, I'm going to do a live video. What do you guys want to see? I will be like, okay, I need to buy this dress. Like which dress should I pick? Like you can do like a this or that thing where it's like a get to know people where you're like, okay, do you like chocolate vanilla? Do you like this or that? Like you can do different polls outside of the business and products. Like I put up a picture 2 weeks ago of my fridge and put up a poll of like who wants me to like share my grocery haul. And I had so many votes on that poll. And I was like, hey, why did none of you guys vote on my other polls? Because there's like 25 more times people on this one than normal. But you'd be surprised what people are interested in and what they interact with. So if you want interaction, give interaction. That's a really, really, really big thing. And just time and growing your following. I think my first poll I put up, I got 1 vote and it was not on purpose. So it takes time. Do I recommend having your Instagram on business mode? So I will say the absolutely only reason why I have my profile on business mode is because I have over 10K followers and I can do swipe ups in my stories. If I didn't have that, I would not have it on business mode. I simply do that because it helps with different things when people are asking for links for stuff or they want to know where I got something from and I can like link them to my Amazon. If I didn't have that and I didn't have the swipe up feature yet, I would not have it because I don't want people to think I'm a business. Like for what business I am, I think it says like a personal blog or something. Yeah, personal blog. So it's not like for business. I think that some people get in the habit of like, oh, if I want to make it a business one and say that I'm like in nutrition and health and this and that. Don't do that. Just be yourself and keep it as you. I only do it for the swipe up link. I don't know what to say. I just react to their story with a heart or a like. So you definitely can do that, but don't be afraid to just talk to people. I truly believe that what you put out is what you give back. So if you're fearful of talking to people, I feel like other people are going to be fearful of talking to you. Like think about it, if you went into a bar by yourself and said nothing to nobody and just like stared at your drink all night, like unless there's like a really sweet person like me that's really uncomfortable and be like, oh my God, let's be best friends. Nobody's going to say anything to you, right? So if you want people interacting with you and talking to you and responding to you and doing these things, just get comfortable talking to them. Like if you sit down and say, like, okay, I'm going to sit down right now and reply to 5 people's stories genuinely. Just talk to them, have a conversation, comment on what they're doing that day, anything like that. It gets easier, but I do believe what you put out is what you give. So if you want engagement, you have to give it to other people. Okay. Apps in my story. I get a ton of questions on what apps I use to make my Instagram stories. I want to say that it's not necessary to use the apps I use if it's too much for you, if it takes too much time, if you don't want to do it. Simply getting on your story and being active is perfectly fine. Like I said, I just do this stuff because I enjoy it. It's a creative outlet for me. I like to make things look pretty. It's just who I am. So the apps that I use, the main one is Story Luxe, just Story Luxe, or Story Art. And you can just download them in the App Store. I think they're both free, but it just kind of allows a template, kind of like Unfold, but it's just newer ones that maybe everybody hasn't seen, but it's not necessary. Do not think that you have to use it. Before, I would just use apps like that if I was doing like an actual Unfold story, like telling my stories, talking about the products, announcing promotions. I just use it throughout the day now because I have OCD and I like it now, so I won't do anything else, but it's not necessary. And that's what I want you to learn is that effort over perfection. So staying consistent and just showing up is going to get you a lot further than trying to make everything look perfect all the time. Yes, I want your feed cohesive. I want it all to be one filter. I want you to be able to catch people's eyes so you get that follow back so you were then able to share your content with them, but it doesn't have to be perfect, right? Like my story, I show myself in bed with a t-shirt. I just talk to people. Half the time there's a stain on my t-shirt. I'm a hot mess. I haven't washed my hair in 4 days. Like, I don't care. I get on there and I talk to people. And if you can just show up and engage and share your day. And like, if I had a really shitty day, I talk about it, not in like a bitchy way. And like, hey, this is what I went through. Like, if you're going through a hard day, like, girl, I feel you. Like, I talk to people, and I allow them to have a friend. And I feel like Instagram stories is huge for that. So let me know if you have any more questions on Instagram stories, but just the more active you can be, the better. There's no perfect amount to post on it. I just stay active throughout my day. I share what I'm doing throughout the day. I always show my products every morning without fail. It's a part of my routine. It's not that I'm trying to sell somebody, but it's a part of who I am and what I do throughout my day. And I get a lot more response from doing that and people just asking like, hey, what is that? Or hey, what are you taking? Or this or that, rather than simply trying to sell, right? So if you are having a dance party in your kitchen in the morning and making your shake, share it, right? Like, just share yourself taking your 3 steps, share it throughout the day, and let people know that it's a constant in your day-to-day life, and it's exposure. So the more that people see something, they're going to be curious, right? So half the time I don't even have to like post a sale post or post, oh, like, who wants to buy the 3-step? People just see that I am, what's the right word I'm thinking for? I just had a brain fart. Consistent with them. Why was that a hard word? And then over time they see your results, right? So that's when they become interested. Do you focus more time on interacting on Instagram or on Facebook? Do you do the same kind of story interacting on Facebook as you do on Instagram? So I definitely don't think it's bad to do it on both. Me personally, I don't interact on Facebook stories. I don't know the last time I watched a Facebook story. I post on mine, whatever I'm posting, but it just depends kind of the time you have, the effort you have to put in, and where your audience is. For me, I would say like 90% of my Facebook is you guys. It's the tribe, it's Sideline Sisters, it's everybody like that. So for me, like, I find more potentials, more connections, more relationships, and it's easier for me to grow on Instagram and then bring people to Facebook. But if like Facebook is your jam and that's where like you're connecting with people and you're getting messages, put your effort where it needs to go. There's no like secret formula to that. My Hash Me app is not in Spanish. No, there may be a Spanish one. That could be a different client base. I don't know. Try to delete it and re-download it. See if that works. But no, mine's not. That's so funny. I don't know. Okay, so what kind of prompted this training, because I was supposed to do it last week, was live videos and IGTV. And I feel like people have a whole lot of questions on those. So if you have any questions on live videos on Instagram or IGTV, post them there. But I was somebody that did not do live videos on Instagram often. I always did them on Facebook. That's what I was comfortable with. That's where I went and did them. But when I started to do them on Instagram, it opens up your algorithm so much. It literally does the work for you. Like, it will bring you into people's news feeds, into people's suggested feeds, into their explore feed. Like, it'll put you on their news feed. Like, it brings you so many new people. I didn't know. Why is that app in Spanish for you? I hope it's the right one. Is it like a white background and then a colorful, just like icon there in the corner? Maybe. I don't know. That's weird. So, okay, what is the benefit of IGTV over stories? So I don't think that one works better than the other. In my opinion, I think the more that you do and the more ways that you reach people, the better. So, and that's what I had to challenge myself to do. I was not doing live videos. I had never used IGTV. I had never, and don't like hold me to this. There's only one video on my IGTV, but I'm working on it. But I'm learning the magic behind all of it. So lives on Instagram, for me, I don't get as many views as I do on Facebook. I don't have as many interactions. So I think that discouraged me. And I was like, oh, well, like, nobody's on there to talk to me, so I don't know what to talk about. Y'all are cracking me up. But when you do them, it helps your algorithm. I know that Katie did one like a week and a half ago, and she put in our leadership chat, she's like, holy crap. She's like, I got like 20 new followers today. She's like, I just did an Instagram live and I didn't even follow anybody. But it's because when there's new features or new things on social media platforms, they want you to use them for a reason, right? They came out with IGTV for a reason. And when you utilize it, it brings you engagement. It brings you people. So you have to go with where Instagram and Facebook are going. Like, remember when Facebook Lives were a brand new thing, and then everybody caught on like, oh, hey, this like helps my business. It helps brings me people. It helps me to connect with people. And then they came out with stories, and now stories are the biggest thing ever, right? So you have to go with what they're putting in front of you and utilize it. And like I said, Instagram is a gold mine. The more that you can do, the better, right? So I started to do more live videos on Instagram. And what's really cool, Shay taught me this. I did not know this because I did not know how to work IGTV. If your live video that you do is under 10 minutes long, an IGTV video has to be under 10 minutes long. But let's say you hop on and do a Facebook Live. Let's say it's a quick one. Maybe you are just hanging out answering questions. Maybe you are showing your products. Maybe you are doing a quick little opportunity live, whatever it may be. If it's under 10 minutes, save it to your phone. When you end your live video, there's a little save like arrow in the top right-hand corner. Save it to your phone, and then you can upload it to your IGTV. So then anybody past that 24-hour mark that maybe didn't watch your live video, because it's not like Facebook, like it doesn't save to your feed on Instagram, right? You can upload it to your IGTV and have it for rewatch. And the really, really, really cool thing is when I put up my IGTV, they give you an option where they literally put it in people's news feeds. And you've probably seen that now when you're scrolling on Instagram, it'll be a video like somebody's IGTV. So you can choose that option, and that's just more people seeing you. So the whole moral of this story is that the more you do, the more engagement you're going to get, right? Like I wasn't doing lives. I wasn't on IGTV. I wasn't saving my videos. I wasn't doing any of this. And then doing that last week brought me so many new people. It brought me so much more engagement. And I mean, it wasn't even just about the business or products. I was just on there talking to people. I think I talked about anxiety one day. What did I do? Oh, I got my weighted blanket in the mail. I like went live talking about my weighted blanket because I thought it was awesome. I got it in the mail and I just talked about it. Like I just get on and talk to people. Somebody that's really, really good about that is Brittany Dawn. I don't know if she's on here. She does an Instagram live video like every freaking day. And she's on her IGTV, and she is the top enroller on my team because of that, because she's always right in people's face with that. She's going live. She's on her story. She's on IGTV. So use the resources that Instagram is giving you, right? They are there for a reason, and it might be uncomfortable. It might be different, this and that, but I just feel like you can get to people so much faster through a live video or an IGTV over a post, right? Like I love posting, I love making content, but not everybody sees it, right? The algorithm sucks. Sometimes people don't read it. Sometimes it doesn't even show in their feed. But let's say you can just promise yourself like, hey, I'm going to go live on Instagram 2 times next week, right? And you can even use that whole IGTV thing as your excuse. Say it's going to be 10 minutes or under. I'm going to get on super quick and talk to people and just experiment with it and see how much it helps your business. And that is the key to Instagram, is using the resources that they're giving you and staying consistent and have fun with it, right? When I'm posting on my story all day, I don't feel like I'm working. I'm just sharing my day. I'm interacting. I have friends online. It's that simple. I'll answer that question in 1 second. So yes, for IGTV, it is kind of like a highlights for lives, because then they put a little IGTV icon next to your highlights also. But then anytime anybody goes to your page, they can go back and rewatch any of the live videos you did. And it's kind of like a whole different like section on Instagram. I don't even know how it works, but I know that I can go on there and there's like people doing their eyebrows and there's like funny videos, like there's everything on there. So just use it and understand that that's the kind of the magic behind that, is that Instagram is putting these things in front of you for a reason. They want you to use them. They're going to reward you in the algorithm for using them, because that's what they're pushing right now is their IGTV, right? Before they didn't have the IGTV in the feeds. They do now. They're trying to say, hey, this is what's working. Use this. So get outside your comfort zone with that. And I think the more that you get in the hang of it, the simpler it becomes. Just get on and talk to people. Somebody asked me, how often do I talk about the products or business opportunities on lives? I would say I do like a structured one once a week, but then like on my stories, I share about it. Or if I get like a new package, I'll go live and open it, but I don't have any like formula behind that. I just make sure that I also produce content and go live about stuff that doesn't have to do with that, because people want to know who you are and what you're about. Captions are hard to come up with. Help. I know to tell my story, but I feel like I do that every post. So what I think with posting is, I think a lot of people overthink it. One of my biggest tips of advice is that if you are sitting there trying to think of a post and you're like, I have nothing, it's not happening, nothing's coming to me, I will sit there and do that, where I'll re-edit a picture 5 times and rewrite a caption. And I'm like, okay, like it's not happening. I'm not meant to post right now. I'm confused. I don't know what I want to talk about, right? Put your phone down. Step away. For me, if I go and read a book for 20 minutes, if I go step outside and go for a walk, if I put my phone down and live my life, content normally comes to me, because think about that. You're sharing you're sharing your life. So if you're just sitting there staring in your phone, trying to come up with what to say, it's going to be a little bit hard. You're not really going to have much to talk about, right? You have to go out and live your life and be just interactive and being a human, right? And that's what produces content. So yes, telling your story is great, but you have to talk about other things too, right? Like, what are your 5 things? What makes you you? What do you love? What have you been through? And for me, also, I use my notes app all the time. I think we talked about that on another training, but whenever you like think of something, or maybe you get a good idea, or you read something, or maybe it's a song and like a line in a lyric stands out, or a quote stands out, put it in your notes, right? And then like maybe you can come back to that and get re-inspired and make a post from there. But you just got to post about what makes you you. And if you're feeling stuck, you put your phone down and go live your life a little bit. And I'm telling you, more content will come to you. I get so much content too for my self-development, the books I read, the podcasts I listen to, the videos I watch on YouTube. It like sparks things in you when you get inspired, because writing a post, writing content is pouring into other people. So it's the same thing as doing self-development. If you have nothing in here and you're not like fulfilled and energetic and excited and inspired, what are you going to write about, right? So the last thing that I want to talk about super, super quick before I encourage you all to try these things and work on your IGTV and your lives and just get out there and show your face. That's what's so big, is literally just showing your face, whether it's using the hands-free feature on the story and just talking to people, doing a live, whatever. Use it. But I want to talk about adding. I kind of mentioned this in the beginning, that it's a lot simpler to grow your network on Instagram, but you do need to take it seriously and put effort into it if you want to produce engagement, produce a following, produce getting responses to stuff. Stay consistent. I feel like not enough people talk about this, but that's what I'll say. People are like, okay, well, nobody's messaged me, or nobody's interested, or I haven't made a sale. And I'm like, when was the last time like you consistently added people for 5 days straight? Right? And it's not that I'm mass adding, I'm intentionally adding people that I truly do have things in common with, but you have to grow your network, right? The more you expand your audience, the more new eyes you have on you, you're going to get new people interested. You're going to get new followers. You're going to get new people engaging, getting to know you. So you have to add people, right? Like imagine if, I don't know, we were all in Target, right? And Target was like, okay, we're locking the doors. Nobody else is ever coming in. And it was just us. I mean, we'd all run out of money really fast, right? Like, what are we going to do? They're not allowing new people in the doors. Like, they're not having new clientele and customers coming in and seeing something they want. If it's just the same people sitting with you all the time, you're going to run out of money. Or maybe you don't like what's in the store right then, or maybe you're not interested in what's on the rack. You know what I mean? Like, if you're not keeping your doors open and bringing new people in, you're not going to have new potentials. You're not going to have new enrollments. And yes, I definitely have people that will watch me for like 3 months, 6 months, a year, and then be like, okay, I'm ready. But I also can add somebody and the next day they're ready. Like, you never know who it is. So if you consistently grow your network, pick a number that works for you, right? Some days I will add, I don't know, let's say I'm like super on my phone and super into it, and I find a really good profile. I'll add maybe 60 people. Some days I'll add 10, right? It depends on what I'm doing that day and what I'm thinking about, but you have to consistently add, and also always reevaluate who you're adding, right? If you're adding these people on and like, you're not vibing with their stories, like you're not getting a lot of follow backs, you're not really connecting with their post, the right audience isn't in front of you. So making sure that you are consistently adding and consistently having the right audience in front of you, that's what produces potentials, enrollments, relationships, engagements, is getting new people in front of you. So if you were not consistently adding, I challenge you to literally, if you took the next 7 days and for the next 7 days added 50 people a day on Instagram, I'm telling you, you would have more engagement, more interaction, more likes on your stuff. It begins to get that flowing. So put time in that. And you have that unfollow app. Not everybody's going to follow back. That's totally fine. But growing your network is huge, right? I have a good amount of followers. I don't care. I still add new people every single day. You still have to keep adding, keep opening your door, keep getting in front of new eyes. Best thing I've ever heard in one of your trainings, I don't know who said it, but networking isn't just adding. It's also evaluating and deleting the wrong people. Yes. Girl, I hit that delete button so fast all the time, right? You have to evaluate who, and bring it back to Target or owning a clothing store or doing anything, if you're having people come in that don't connect with you, don't vibe with you, aren't interested in what you're putting out, the relationships aren't growing, they're not buying stuff, look who your audience is, right? Reevaluate it. Maybe you're not adding the right people for you. Like for me, I used to be in this really weird thing where I was still college aged, but like I had dropped out and was living like a 36-year-old woman. But like I was 22. So I was like, okay, but like who do I add? Like I don't have kids yet. I'm not in college yet. Like I was in that weird in between where I did not know who to connect to. But there are women out there who are exactly like you that have the same stories as you. You just have to find who you vibe with, right? So while yes, I'm younger, I don't add like a lot of girls in college because I'm not like in crop tops and really short shorts, like out to the bar every day. Like I'm 45 at heart and I'm a homebody and I want to lay with my dogs and read books, right? So I'm not going to add people that are like that. Like you have to add people that get you. And if you're getting nothing from your audience, reevaluate who is in front of you. And Instagram, like I said, it's a freaking gold mine, guys. There are billions of people on Instagram. There's always more network to add. There's always more people to connect with. Just evaluate who you're adding, right? Your area, the things you're interested in, go through hashtags, all kinds of stuff like that. I had to change my audience from college girls who couldn't afford anything to first-time moms like myself. Change with your seasons. Exactly. Like I'm not the same person I was when I joined network marketing. I was 21 when I joined, right? So I'm a completely different person now. Like I can't relate to the same people. So as you grow, just evaluate who's in front of you and ask yourself, okay, if I'm doing all of this stuff, right? If I'm on my stories, if I'm doing my lives, if I'm posting, engaging, like I did my social media makeover, I'm happy with my content and I'm still not getting anything, ask yourself, how many people are you bringing in, right? Because at the end of the day, stuff is a numbers game. Maybe you're not bringing in the right amount of people, and who is in front of you, right? Don't be afraid to clean out negativity, clean out people you don't vibe with, clean out people that are posting crazy. I do that all the time. I'm like, if my post that on my Facebook, my mama would kill me, delete. Like I have to edit who is in front of me because it's not people I'm going to vibe with. So I think that Instagram opens up that platform for you to be able to find anybody you want and for you to have endless possibilities to impact people and help people and befriend people and have those relationships. You just got to get out there. You got to talk to people. You got to add people. And you have to do what Instagram is putting in front of you. So I challenge you to, ask yourself, do I need a little bit of a social media makeover, right? Do I need to work on who I'm adding? Do I need to do more lives? Like what more can I do? And you have to stay a student. You have to stay learning, right? So I even have to check myself. Like, have I done a live in 3 days? No. I need to get my shit together. I need to do a live. You know what I mean? Like hold yourself accountable and say, okay, if I'm not producing results, I'm going to look in the mirror and say, what more can I do? What do I need to do? A new tip I learned with hashtags are to find hashtags with around 100,000 instead of million and high numbers. They will stay in the hashtag feed longer. Yeah, I have some people and they're like, well, I'm searching hashtags and like, it's all bloggers with like 200,000 likes. I'm like, okay, those aren't your people then. Right? If you don't vibe with that, you have to kind of dig and find what works for you. So maybe some hashtags do, maybe some people do. You add, but you have to edit and constantly stay a student and figuring out what is working for you. But I challenge you, like I said, to look at your page, ask, is it clean, cohesive? And if somebody looks at it, will they give me that follow back, right? If somebody followed me, would I follow them back? Am I staying consistent on my stories? Am I going live? Am I using IGTV? Am I using my hashtags? Ask yourself this and take this seriously and I think because it's social media, sometimes we don't put it like in as much of a necessity as it needs to be. If you put effort into Instagram, it produces results, guys. Like I said, it's a freaking gold mine. So take the time to use the hashtags, to grow your network, to do the lives. You will get people engaging with you, and that's going to turn into business, especially with how we market. So I know it's the last day of the month. I'm going to let you guys go. We still have promotions to pop. Know that I am so incredibly proud of you guys. We've been crying off and on all day. I'm nauseous. I have a headache. I feel like I've been on a bender for 3 days because we've been going nonstop, but it has been incredible. Know that I am so proud of you. Know that yet again, we are just getting started. And I think that next month, and then having conference in next month, and then the CBD stuff, I think that we're about to blow the shit out of the water. Okay. It's going to be incredible. So stay plugged in, stay learning, stay a student. I love you. I hope that this was helpful, and I hope that you'll have a great night. Bye.